right. Earl Grey, the tea of Picard. Today is Sunday, April 5th. It is 8 o'clock in the morning, and this is the Board State. My name is Jeffrey Vieira, aka Mr. V, and I'm joined with, as always, my buddy across the island. Who are you, sir?
Jack.
Jack. See, he kind of blew himself away with that war cry almost. What do we do, Jack? What is this show about?
We play Doom Eternal. We also play. We go over the news, talking about the indie gaming scenes and gaming scenes that's going for change in a respectful and awesome way.
Yep. You just hit it on Picard's nose.
Yeah. 25 episodes in, I finally got it.
Yeah. So just to underline what Jack was saying, we highlight gaming news that we feel is for social good. I teach a game design class over in Nanakuli High School. Jack is my star pupil. And yeah, these are we create games that are enveloped in this model. So the first article today, and what we do is we pick out articles that stood out to us throughout the week, compile them, and talk about them on a Sunday. So first article is by the SciPost.org. That's not psionics, that's psychology. And that is, playing Super Mario video games can improve executive functioning in older adults. Isn't that cool?
Yep.
Right? Yep. As an older adult, I can definitely understand this. Before passing the mic to you, let me just go over a couple of things on this article, if that's cool with you, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, yep. So executive function refers to a suite of cognitive processes that regulate behaviors using in-goal attainment, controlling attention, inhabiting cognition, working memory, etc. Using combination, they result in higher cognitive functions like reasoning and problem solving. As humans age, these capabilities start to decline, accompanied by reduced gray matter associated in the brain regions. So, wow, video games do some pretty good stuff. And gaming in general. So this is, of course, by, like I mentioned, SciPost, and it is in reference to a study that was done. Who did this? So the abstract, so I just read the abstract. It was by Andres P. van der Linden, which is an age-related difference in supervisory attention systems. And yeah, they're attributing directly to Super Mario. And in the article, they go over exactly how what they did in the research and the process that they took. And what's interesting is it's specifically Super Mario, which is, it's cool. I love Super Mario. Super Mario is like a very iconic thing. But it's like specifically Super Mario, not like Metrovania games or anything like that. But in this study, it's specifically geared towards Super Mario. What are your thoughts, sir?
Okay, first off, yay! More good news coming from a Two-Face. Cause if you go down, scrolling down just one, like under the
Two-Face? You mean like Batman Two-Face?
No, like if you underneath the subscribe on the article, they have a recommended articles. The first one comes up: playing a violent video game makes people view themselves as pedophiles. Oh,
is that a bad thing?
It ain't that bad. It's just it's just weird. Seeing more and more articles talking about video games as a psychology its benefits in psychological.
I
Uh
see. Hmm.
but otherwise, yeah, I could see why the Mario is in particular more helpful than any other games because it has a longer lasting than most other games had, and it had much more of an impact. So maybe potentially the people conducting the study they will expand it to other reaches of the video game aisle. Like for example, fighting games, they
Hmm.
already done it with that. So most likely this is just one of the bigger hurdles they need to go to. What's curious about it is that there was other games like you mentioned, like Metroid or even Super Meat Boy that has the exact same mechanics, and they only showcase Mario. So I'm wondering if who's funding them in particular.
Well, it's all cited in that reference article on link.springer.com. There's a study that was done a couple years ago, but it's all on
Well,
PubMed, and they give it's like a seriously in-depth case study.
right, but um, did it mention who was funding the study or
Who gave them the cash?
yeah?
The Trump administration. Interesting. No. Yeah, the VID group.
Oh, okay.
I
No,
think. Yeah, I have
because
no idea. Um, let's
yeah,
see. Oh no, here we go. So Centre de oh my gosh. Okay, Centre de Recherche and Neuropsychology Cognition, University of Montreal. It's all University of
okay.
Montreal.
No,
So
I'm
there's no backing from
yeah,
EA or any big company like that.
because
And
how
then the researchers give their you can download the citation and everything on there. So it's not backed by tobacco Mongols or anything like that. So
no,
I mean it's but I mean to your point, yeah. So it was funded by the Canadian Institute of Health Research grant. So Canada, I love those guys. Yeah, so very very legit study, not
hmm
backed by tobacco Mongols. No, who would be the bad guys that would want to do like a?
Nintendo.
Do you think Nintendo's are bad guys?
No, no, because
Oh,
here's the
I see what
thing.
you're
It
saying.
was only Mario. So,
For this study, we're gonna give you one game.
yeah. But
Yeah.
obviously, in the study, they did other games that Mario was a part of, but it's just that it's suspicious that they only did Mario games.
Yeah.
Boss.
Which I was thinking about it at great length. And is it because all roads point to Mario? You know, as in terms of like your platform jumping kind of thing.
I think they did it just because they would get more attention.
Hmm. Okay.
No, because like I've been reading a lot of scientific articles and they're mentioning like not that people if it doesn't have something flashy, no one will care.
Okay. Okay. All right. That was or is playing Super Mario video game can improve executive function in older adults. So if you're an older adult, go buy Super Mario games. Save your executive function on
Or
sidepost.org.
if you're quarantined, then just play Super Mario.
Or just play Super Mario. All right. The next article, this was just like an FYI bold font question mark that came up, and I was just like, So speaking of big mega conglomerate companies, ASMODEE and Dark Horse Comics partner for tabletop gaming based books. And this is by thepopinsider.com. Are you familiar with ASMODEE?
Yes.
Okay, great. Let me just go into who the ASMODEE group is. I guess one way to look at ASMODEE, like my first reaction is to say that they're like Wizards of the Coast, but they're like, I don't know, strangely enough, bigger than Wizards of the Coast. I think. I mean, Wizards of the Coast owns like Pokemon and Star Wars and things like that, but it's more just US based. ASMODEE is this big conglomerate that just ingests board game companies. So everything from like Fantasy Flight, Days. I mean, you name it. If it has a glossy box cover, they pretty much own it. And then Dark Horse Comics, right? We all know Dark Horse Comics. I love Dark Horse Comics. They do some really good work. So for one, pretty cool. I can see some really neat things coming out of this, especially from like the graphic novel space, where I mean, even seeing like their own spin on like, because they have Fantasy Flight has like Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, you know, etc., etc. Twilight Imperium. So we may see some like Twilight Imperium graphic novels coming out or books. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, your thoughts on this?
I'm honestly happy that Dark Horse Comics are doing this. I don't see any problems with this because like currently right now, due to the whole quarantine crisis and stuff like that, basically the comic book industry is taking a huge decline. And mostly thanks to a lot of the publishers who used to run the comic or runs the comic book industry not paying them. Not paying the comic book, like the artists, the writers, basically. And so now a lot of them cannot find a job or stuff like that. So the fact that Dark Horse Comics had already done like financial moves to save the company is already like there's nothing wrong that could happen with this agreement other than making a bad game for them at the very least.
Books, right?
Well, yeah. Books or games, yeah.
Yeah.
But what's another thing is that how far will this still last? Like, will it last till like the ending of this year, or will it last till like the ending of 6 years?
I don't know. I mean, it's a cool partnership. We may even see some Dark Horse properties be made into games as well. I think it'd be really cool. But they got Android, Netrunner, Arkham, Keyforge. Yeah.
I mean, what else do they want?
I think it's a cool. I think it's a cool thing though. I think there's nothing. It's an interesting move for ASMODEE as well to get into, because a lot of these games that I play that have, you know, very rich lore just from playing these games that you play, like, oh, I want to learn more about this guy, or, you know, what is this kingdom about, especially Twilight Imperium, or Rex, or things like that, or in that universe, that I want to read more about it. So I'm hoping they get to really explore the ASMODEE, or specifically more really Fantasy Flight, the Fantasy Flight catalog of lore. Yeah?
Yeah, but it would be interesting if this partnership, the first couple products they do, like how Bungie did, will be flops. Because a lot of people was going into like, oh, Bungie is with Activision now as a good thing because they made Halo, and then their last two IPs wasn't doing that hard. So it would be interesting if that would happen to this partnership as well. But
I don't think that's going to be interesting.
Well, no, but overall, it would be interesting to say the least.
Okay, sure, yeah. But I have high hopes for this. This sounds really, really neat. I wish them the best. They have a lot of. This gives Dark Horse Comics a lot of capital to do really good things, but A lot of
And the
capital.
consoles
A
are.
lot of capital doesn't necessarily mean good output, right? AKA AAA games. They got tons of money. Sometimes it doesn't work out. All right. Any other thoughts on this?
Honestly, I'm glad that they're taking steps to move away from those comic book publishers, because last time I checked, around 85% of the comic book industry is gonna go bankrupt thanks to this quarantine.
I disagree with that statement very
Well,
completely, but yeah, I respect your comment
okay, okay.
because I know that definitely for the printing side, we've stores are closed, right? So
Yeah,
through distribution. However, I've been seeing a huge, especially for me as well. Being at home on my downtime, I've been reading more and more and more comics, but digital comics. I've been like
yeah.
getting a lot. I've been like looking for really good like iPad services to use to go and get comics.
I I think I refer to comics as the published ones. I
Okay,
see digital ones
gotcha.
as a totally separate thing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Because
Okay.
digital ones, you have other ways of advertisements you could do, like ads and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So popinsider.com, one of my favorite sites. Just kidding. Never went there before. I'm into Pop Insider, man. All right. Okay, so this next article was not by Jack. I got a little inspired by Jack stuff here, and it is. I thought playing video games was unproductive until the coronavirus. Okay, and let me start with this. So this is by, I think it's yeah. So this is Quartz. There's newsletter. So quartz.com. I guess they do like articles and stuff like that. I haven't done too much research on who they are, but what this article is about is reporter Leela McKellen. She was, they closed up or something like that happened, and like most of us that, well, not like me or Jack here, but most of us that are stuck at home that don't normally game, look for means of escapism. So she started playing games, and so let me just cite this. So give an employee so what these games did was they gave course employees a sense of ownership. Go through as I told course reporter Leah McKellen. Beyond serving a fleet distraction, gaming has literally given me a sense of control at a time when everything else feels out of my control. You can listen to the experts, stay at home, wash your hands. You can minimize your risk of getting infected and infecting others. Ultimately, though, it's not entirely up to us. The virus will go and do what it does, and blah, blah, blah. We've heard that before. But the games that they've played were things like Call of Duty, Fortnite, and then Warzone, right? Which is that
Right.
really big battle royale game. And normally,
That's
I would
called
adjust my yeah, but it's like a specific like battle royale from what I understand kind
yeah,
of
but
version.
it's still the same game.
Okay,
It's not be a different game. It's still the same game.
got
It's
it. All right. So as I'm showing you, so two things. One is as I push up my invisible hipster glasses and twirl my mustache up, when I would normally turn my nose to these type of games. I took a step back and kind of looked at it with a more of a panoramic kind of view and a broader view, and how we talk about this a lot: content and context, right? If you have the right context of why you're doing a thing, sometimes the content doesn't really matter, right?
Mhm.
So playing a game where I would normally kind of scoff at something like Call of Duty, in this case, really helped these people out. So this is by Quartz.com. Jack, your thoughts on this?
Yeah. I honestly feel like, not because I'm a fanboy or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that, that I feel like the first person genre in particular gets a lot of heat for a lot of stuff that they're not even contributing to
Okay.
negatively, and it's honestly like that's the reason why I'm seeing a lot of these articles that are making publish good articles. I need to do more research in each one of them because a lot of the articles I've been reading that was on the first person shooters or variant games has always been negative, and it's kind of real by doing this podcast, looking at these articles and seeing new articles like
Yeah.
this, like giving more and more positives and giving more and more light. It's like honestly like what the heck.
Hmm.
That's like my initial impressions after
Okay.
reading this. But another thing is that there's other games, so like Halo and like the other games other than Call of Duty and Fortnite that then that will allow gamers to be productive just as Call of Duty and Fortnite. Like for example, Doom Eternal, that game sells successfully and a lot of people adore it and it's helping them go through this quarantine, but it's also not a Call of Duty ripoff. It's honestly its own thing, but it's still a first-person shooter or a variant game. Same with PUBG on the PC. The console for it is basically dead.
Hmm. Yeah. I'm wondering though. Well, this is gonna not sound too good.
I mean, my statements before didn't sound good, so it's your time to shine.
No. Um, I'll try to walk as delicately as possible. I'm wondering. So I'm a very old dude. What I've noticed through my decades of being alive and gaming since I've been a kid is that there's a natural progression in gaming that gamers often go through, and it's the same thing with music and literature and any really part of the arts. I would say and I'm not saying that like by playing indie games you're more of a refined gamer, but there is a sense of asking yourself if you're more of, I guess, a conscientious gamer or a musical author or something like that. At a certain point, you ask yourself, is there anything more than just shooting people in the face, right? And
Right.
again, it depends on the context of why you're playing. Like if you're just enjoying yourself, like I remember I don't know if you've seen the series House of Cards with Kevin Spacey. I don't want to give Kevin Spacey's name any airspace here, but what I learned a lot watching him play, I think it was probably Call of Duty. He was playing some first person shooter. Was that he would decompress all the stress of his role in that series. I think he's president, right? Yeah, as being
Yeah.
the president, was he would come home and shoot people in the face, right? So,
Yeah.
so again, it's the bold why. Why are you playing these games? Is it just means of escapism? Are you looking for ideas? Why are you going to these mediums? But going back to my point is, I'm wondering if these courts employees picked these games because they're very, very, very popular, right? Like if you Google, what's a good game to play or something like that. That I would imagine
Yeah.
these companies buy ad space. Right? Epic is just so huge that they can drop mills just so that when you Google the word video game, their game comes up first, right? So
It
I'm wondering if they chose these games just based on popularity and then may migrate over to some more meaningful stuff.
that's the thing, like how we mentioned earlier with the research people and with
Mm-hmm.
Mario. That's the price we have to pay in order to get good articles
Mm-hmm.
like this. If it's that the case, well,
Mm-hmm.
only the popular games get first sight, and then the indie games start to pour in. Then
Mm-hmm.
fine, I'd rather take that route than continue to get bashed.
Well, here's a question for you though. is the low-hanging fruit the better fruit to eat, right? Or is it worth climbing up that tree and looking for that better mango?
The low hanging fruit will get more people into the
Yep.
interest of grabbing the high hanging fruit.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I was going to
So
lead
if
this conversation into.
if you don't know what that metaphor means, if you're not from Hawaii, Mr. V, you explain that metaphor.
Oh no, I mean, it's not just a Hawaii metaphor.
Yeah.
It's a societal metaphor, I guess. And
Yeah.
what it basically means is, we tend to go for the easy thing, right? The easy fix, the duct tape. Well, yeah, the duct tape / Band-Aid fix. Which, well, duct tape aside, the duct tape analogy aside, Band-Aids are a temporary patch, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this may be the low hanging fruit, and in this article, the case can be made that it worked, right? Like it gave them a sense of control, and made them feel confident in what was happening now. And actually, I've been studying a lot of Buddhism of late, like understanding that there are things that you have no control over, and to accept that, and to walk forward with that. And that's what these games did, and that's a fantastic thing. Whether it's Call of Duty or Mutia Zone, which is an awesome Apple Arcade game. Just inserting a little commercial there. Or our games.
Yeah, but they also showcase like the esports league unknowingly, because that YouTube channel, I've been watching him for like esports content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This article is a very introduction into. So it's like this article is written for like their target audience is really someone that is like in their shoes. It seems like to me like they're looking for something to distract or to give them a sense of place in what's happening now. So they're highlighting things like Twitch, what is Twitch, what is streaming, things like that beyond that, right? To giving the listener like, hey, there's this other really cool world out there of video games.
Yeah, and so by doing that, they allow those who appealed for the high seeing food more easily to grab it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm honestly hoping we get to see more articles like this, and the first article we talked about.
Yep. All right. So that was QC.com, which is Quartz, and it is titled, I thought playing video games was unproductive until the coronavirus. Who'd have
Recording check. Well, we're still recording?
We are recording.
Okay.
Nice. All right. Next one. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is another cool one. This is by HappyMag.tv, and this is why art direction is the indie developer's secret weapon. And this is a article about why art matters. Really, it is something. So it is something that, like when I'm looking at indie games, if I don't, what pulls me in is that cover. Really, to be honest with you, like what really begins my exploration. If I didn't, hear about it or read about it or saw it on YouTube or something like that, or saw the trailers, I see that cover, I'm like, what is going on here? What is this? Right? Mm-hmm. And like I have my own kind of preferred style of art that I like, which is normally more on the weirder Mobius kind of spectrum of art. But that's just what I dig. But yeah, this is something. This is the magic enchantment for your weapon to combat against the AAA companies, right? Is art. Is art. I mean, because gameplay and stuff will happen after, right? I mean, and that's not saying that like gameplay isn't important, right? Gameplay, of course, matters because that's what you're going to be spending most of the time doing.
Right.
But art is the draw, man. And for my notes, I just put Alika. that is our kind of resident artist. That good dear friend of mine that does 100% of all the art for our games.
Make sure you let the monkey know to keep going.
Yes.
We got deadlines.
Yep. So, your thoughts on this article?
First off, yeah, Alika is like his name is just spray across this article. But the second thing
Yeah.
is that I honestly feel like the games they picked could be a little bit more like it showcased a wide range, but I also feel like I don't know. I probably wanted like this article to have like 600 pages. Just
Okay.
no, because just like the amount of indie games I had experience with,
Yeah.
unique art directions, like I do feel like
It's a
kind
really
of
good list, though, man.
I know,
Limbo,
I know,
Cuphead,
like
Dear Esther, Ori and the Will of the
FNAF,
Wisps. Like,
but
oh.
no, but like FNAF, Undertale, My Neighbor, my,
Yeah, all right.
but these games are probably one of the best in the indie genre, like Limbo
Well,
and
they're
Cup.
known for their art. I think that's why they put this in here. Like Cuphead's art, like is, I mean, it's like a perfect, like in its own style, right?
Wait. But it's also like, why can't more game developers do Cuphead's art? Because it takes more time.
Mm,
And Limbo's art because it takes more time. That's the main thing about the article trying to drive home is that even though it takes more time, if you want to be unique and want to
mhm.
sell your game and want to compete against these big titles, you need to take that time.
Yeah. All
And
right, I gotta say something really quick. So it's gonna take like a couple of minutes, but I think it's just worth reading it. And I have this web app that like puts notes on the page, and I completely forgot this part. So let me just go through this real quick. It underlines exactly what we're trying to say here. So we are living in a golden age of indie games. Hallelujah! It doesn't say that. That's my words. We are a booming industry and committed community. We're a booming community. Where a booming industry and committed community have led to the creation of simply world-class art direction. Everybody loves an underdog, and there is no greater underdog than the indie developer. Just picture it. One person sitting behind a computer working endlessly overtime to handcraft their passionate vision as they go head-to-head with faceless gaming giants such as Ubisoft and Electronic Arts. Until recently, this vision wasn't feasible, and the giant developers had a virtual monopoly on the gaming industry. While that is still very much the case, these indies have seen a huge exposure and massive success in recent years due to the boom in the indie gaming community and massive online marketplaces. While they don't always have the resources to make massively complex open world games, indie developers have some of the strongest art direction in gaming history, and they will continue to push the envelope. Woo! Print that out and tattoo that on my chest.
that's pretty long. You're gonna probably have like a whole like body,
It'll
and
be like a
even
really small
then it will be
font.
super hard. Like I'm pretty sure your wife would punch you first and then slap you twice,
All right,
and
all
then
right,
she
all right, all
would
right.
do the
Focus. Sure. Okay.
no, but
But right,
honestly, that's
right.
our statement. Yeah, this is that whole what like 3 paragraphs is what we're looking for in an article.
Yes, yes, yes. All right. Any other thoughts on this, sir?
Honestly, other than have you tried over and the Will of the Wisps?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, I have. In fact, I just did. I pick up the remake too because they just re-released it. Yeah, because I played it when it came out on Switch. I bought it 3 times actually. This is how ridiculous a person I am. I normally do this. So I bought it on the Steam when it came out, then Xbox, and then they just released a new version, I think, and I got that. There's like new art or something. Yeah, but yes. And I normally don't like those kind of platform games because I don't have the dexterity to play those games. Quick aside that I want to mention that so I'm playing I'm late to the party, and I'm late to the party because this game was in the queue, and I have a lot of other things to play. But I'm playing Death Stranding right now, and one of the best things about Death Stranding is there a very easy mode. There's like normal, hard, whatever, and then there's easy, and then very easy. So I was happy that there's a very easy mode.
You disgraced the Lord and Savior Kojima by being easy mode.
I always look so like Hyperdrift. What's that game? Hyperdrift, whatever. That like Zelda-esque amazing art game. Hyperlight Drifter. Thank you. Hyperlight Drifter. I love that game so much. It's such a great game, but I just can't play it. Like, I just die all over the place, and I just, all right, forget this. I got other stuff to do. But yeah.
For shame.
But I like that there was like a. Oh no, that's where I was getting with this. Those type of like platform games where you have to like jump and times thing, time jumps and time attacks and stuff like that. Ugh, I just can't do it.
So you don't make Mario?
I mean, Mario's okay. I don't. I have like no beef with Mario. Mario's a fantastic game. That's one of the pinnacles and milestones. But like, I don't like want to play it. I don't like today. I'm gonna wake up and play Mario. Like, yeah, it's okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So, any other things to mention about this article before we go off on other tangents?
Corporate art style also reminds me of All
right. Nah. Moving on. So that was Happy Mag TV. Why art direction is indie developer's secret weapon. All right. Next article. Okay, we got it. Oh, this is a really good feel good article. Let me start with this one, Jack, and then I'll pass the mic to you. There's a lot to unpack for this. So this is by the Courier.co.uk, and this is Fife-based game developer designed challenging childhood trauma into a fantastic world. Yeah, okay, so let me just scroll to, so for this I didn't even take notes, there's just so much here. Fife-based designer who has overcome childhood abuse is channeling his efforts into the creation of a new game to help others deal with mental health issues. And this is, his name is Callum Robb, 32, and he created this is his passion project, and to talk about the art. But so this is someone that he was abused as a child, and he isolated himself. Yeah, so for 22 years, I lived with depression, anxiety, and panic attacks, but would self-medicate with alcohol and drugs. I'm now clean and sober, and I've found meditation and music, among other things, help me live with what happened and how to live with my mental and health in a positive way. I wanted to use elements of music and meditation in Rockfern, which is the game, and show how I deal with depression and anxiety in a beautiful crafted game, whilst not being clinical and still having a massive appeal. The game is not aimed to be a cure-all, and I think this is really important, should be underlined. The game is not aimed to be a cure-all or to be focused on mental health, but is used to develop the main character's story, who is based on myself and the journey I've gone through. How you can't cure depression, but live with it by finding things that help you. Woohoo! I got chicken skin, man, on that one. That is, yeah. Your thoughts, man?
Yeah. So basically, this is another thing that touched home for me a lot. Like, a lot of my friends in the military and even myself has to deal with this little demon of ours. But the fact that he, like, even if you go to the Kickstarter, he even lists that it's not to tackle depression, it's to just inspire by it. So, like, even if you're going through, like, something, like, of that scale, that doesn't mean you can't create or, like, show the world your artistic skills. It's just you have a new, unique way of doing it now. And so this game is more about his story about that than anything else, to be honest. I want to support it, but I'm broke, so
buy a copy too. I'm definitely backing this. Man, I love the art, man. We're just talking about indie art, like, oh,
Yeah,
beautiful.
it gotta have took them like at least a year to at least come up with the art style of it, and it takes time. Honestly, all these games takes time. It's like how Magic the Gathering has support the local gaming store. This is supporting the local gaming store to the next degree.
Yep.
Because if you find like something like this that inspires you, then you will be good. You found your game developers.
How much copies can I get? What does $500 give you?
Oh my god.
How many copies? Oh, you get a shirt too. Okay, sorry. Tangent. So, please back this. Roquefort, a musical narrative adventure. This guy's doing good work. Please support. This is the whole reason why we do this show. Is to highlight stuff just like this. This is the epitome of what we're trying to do here. Awesome. Right on, dude. And that is the courier.co.uk. And title is Fife-based game designer channeling childhood trauma into a fantastic world. All right. Speaking of mental health issues, the ministry launches a website to help children avoid lockdown madness. And this is lockdown madness.
1981 mystery.
Huh?
1981.
And this is the firstnews.com. What's that?
Do you want Big Brother to watch us?
Big Brother to watch us. Oh, the ministry?
Yeah.
Okay. It was like the ministry has launched the website. So the Poland Ministry of Digital Affairs, together with several foundations and game developers, launched, and please forgive my pronunciation, Grarantana, a website with access to Microsoft to Minecraft server, online role-playing game sessions, quizzes, and a series of webinars on game development and game jams. All this to keep youngsters cooped up at home, occupied, and learning at the same time. This is really cool. I'm loving. I'm seeing a lot more of these that are popping up. This is another one that I just wanted to share with the world. I don't think this is just limited to Poland, although they might not be in English. Jack, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
All right. So, what are your thoughts on this?
Of course, Poland. Of course, the guys who had Cyberpunk. Why?
Oh, right. So one thought that I had, which is in relation to this specific article and just the current state of things is, you being a high school student as well can relate to this. So older folks, throughout your life have been telling you, to get away from your computers, stop playing games, and go outside and play, right? And now we're telling the same exact kids to stay indoors and find something to do.
No.
but now video games are okay to do. And what's that?
I would have to say that if anyone who was going to do this, it was Poland, because they, for example, The Witcher, when it first came out, they show it off with national pride. Like they treat game developers as rock stars.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I'm probably want to move to Poland once I graduate, once I get my diploma, because it's honestly that's the nation who has been supportive of the gaming industry the most of recent times, not just from AAA standpoint, but from indie standpoint. For example, a couple of my friends who went to Poland honestly said that they accept foreign exchange students that's taking video game courses and honestly fund their projects if they do it in Poland. So if you're looking, this is only making sure okay, Poland is this to the world. It's not just a country where we could fight off empires. We also could be one of the creative sides of the nation.
Yeah.
I,
Absolutely. Yeah, I watched a really good documentary regarding Project Red and Project Red, and and yeah, it echoes exactly what you're saying in terms of
well,
countries supporting them.
I also feel like I wonder what they would do for history class because I know like history wise, Poland had the not so light end of the stick.
Yeah.
So would they focus on more like the legends of like 40-1? Well, 1,000 Polish soldiers hold up 40,000 German soldiers, or are they gonna focus more on actual history during the lockdown as games?
Got it. I have no idea. But in relation to this article directly, as I just want you guys to know out there that are listening that there's a lot of tools available. You don't just have to go buy games, so you should. There's a lot of free or mostly free sites out there that have just really cool stuff for kids to do online. And so, like in this, for example, they host like game jams where you can create games with an online community, beyond just your Minecraft building stuff.
Well,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
very cool.
but if you prefer that, then keep doing it. Honestly,
Yeah, but going back to my point was that just the mixed blessing that this coronavirus situation has had, where it's kind of forced us to look at things that we thought were innocuous, or we shouldn't be spending our time doing, where there actually has always been these very positive benefits for doing, but we were so easy to write. Well, not we, them. They have written them off as just waste of time. But if anything, I think this our cast today has really underscored that a lot of these things have other benefits as well, and that provides the context of gaming is good. Gaming can also be really good. Right?
well,
that was a PSA.
Oh, I do have to wonder though. So in Poland, there's a particular band that I'm in love with that is popular over there. You may have
Okay.
heard of them. They're called Sabaton. I'm
Okay.
wondering if they're paying it during, their game sessions.
All right. Cool. Thank you for that. This is for the. So again, this is the firstnews.com. Ministry launches a website to help children avoid lockdown madness. I don't think our government did anything like this. just
If
the.
it was, then the generals are gonna take over it.
Okay. Next article. More good stuff. Thegamer.com. The psychology of gaming. How good games satisfies our basic psychological needs. And this is I think most of this article. So this is an interview by Celia Hodent, and she wrote a book called The Gamer's Brain, and she's a world-renowned gamer UX or user experience consultant and author, and she explores the concepts and others on like how we interact with a gaming interface and how it satisfies all these psychological needs. And let me just go into some of the the strong points on this, and I'll pass it over to you, Jack. This talks about motivation, right? Competency, autonomy, core human these are core human psychological needs. Being competent, and I like how they bold it. They bold font it with "We all want to be a badasses." I don't want to be a badass. Autonomy. They'll tell me what to do, except when I need help. Autonomy refers to our need to feel a degree of freedom and independence. So all these like benchmarks, right? Relatedness, the social relatedness, making friends and whatnot. Oh, they put a picture of The Last of Us in here. You need to play that again before the new one comes out. And then she points out kind of this challenge. How can game devs tap into all these needs? Very, very cool article. More fuel for the fire of gaming for social good. Your thoughts?
Honestly, it's going to be more and more like this. And so, as a game designer, you need to always keep in mind that if you're going to ship out a bad product, you're going to have the risk of not only bad publicity, but a bad reputation. And reputations in the short term doesn't seem like a much, but it will go and invest the psychology into your new employees, into your valued customers. All of those people, I want to go to BioWare because they made Mass Effect and I love those games. Now are tempted by, Mass Effect Andromeda, Anthem. You, as much as you making a bad game is the easy way out, it's also the easy way out of getting out of the industry. Only now, we see Activision becoming more and more stable with Call of Duty, even with the recent title receiving much praise, including even though they restrict certain items to the PS4. A lot more people is understanding about that because of whole exclusivity. The fact that they're making those things openly is getting their reputation back. I gain more of the psychological, now I want to go to Activision and make Call of Duty games, or I want to go to Infinity War and make the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare games. It took them 5 whole years to get that back.
I was just thinking, I wish we didn't say the word Call of Duty so much in our... so much
Okay, how about this? Fallout 76. If it wasn't for Doom Eternal, people would still be bashing Fallout 76.
Okay. Alright. So that is thegamer.com Psychology of Gaming, how a good game satisfies our basic psychological needs, and the waypoints that you should use in psychology to incorporate into your game. Alright. Next article. Gaming and writing, man. Very important. This is a brief guide to writing for video games. This is a how-to from thegameindustry.biz. And GameIndustry.biz UK editor James Batchelor yesterday hosted an EGX Res Digital panel discussing this topic. Featured a whole bunch of freelance script writers. The gold selection from both AAA and the indie side. From Fail Better Games. I mean, did a bunch of guys. You should check out the article. And they talk about how to get a job as a game writer, what are the different writing jobs in the game industry, how much creative freedom is there as a game writer, that's really important, and what are the advantages of being an in-house writer versus freelance, and some references for aspiring game writers, and they use Zoom. Not too good for you guys. You guys should not use Zoom. So they did this streaming talk on EGX Digital on like a guide for writing for video games. Your thoughts, sir?
Well, honestly, and that's another thing we have been suffering through the industry. It's a lack of meaningful storytelling. It doesn't matter how much hours you put into a narrative. If it doesn't sell, or if it's not coherent, then all you have is words on a piece of text, or someone is saying it. You need to say it in a way where it makes all of the audience that you're talking to understand it directly. And if your game doesn't focus on storytelling, or they use it as a background for the players to find, that means it needs to at least be, at the very minimum, coherent enough to where it follows a storyboard, where you could put it from one end of the paper and end it off on the second end of the paper. But yeah, that's how I see gaming writing as of right now. I feel like if people use like a storyboard that people use in digital media sense, storyboard is basically a combination of empty spaces. And it will give the whoever's making or producing something enough time to draw out that scene and write it down. You see it more in like studios or like in film and TV, but I honestly think that technique will help writers a lot. If they're not already using it, then to enhance it.
Okay. Yeah, this is a fantastic article. Again, all these links are going to be in the comment section. This is one to go through and to bookmark if you're looking at writing for video games. And this is gamesindustry.biz, a brief guide to writing for video games. All right, we've got a tabletop thing here, man. Wait. And I'm sorry, there's been a lot of tabletop news of late, but there was tons of things that we could have possibly talked about tonight or today, excuse me. And we curated the list of these 10, and the focus today was to try to touch on some of the positive aspects of video games, because I think more on the tabletop it's a little bit more transparent to like what the benefits are. I really wanted to hone in on the video game space today. But we got one tabletop thing, and this is really, 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 really cool. This is Bored with Your Board Games. Try the Board Game Remix Kit for free. Originally released in 2010, the Board Game Remix Kit has been available for free on itch.io. The Dicey Dungeons writer Holly Gramazio tweeted about the kit's re-released Tuesday ago. We thought, with so many people staying inside at the moment, occupying themselves with whatever's available, it's worth digging up the old kit and putting it out into the world again. The Board Game Remix Kit uses pieces from board games that people likely already have, and they say some games. Stuff like pen and paper and other household objects are used as well, and there are 26 different suggestions for ways to play. That's really cool. I mean, I don't know how we could remix a Kingdom Death Monster game, but but this is super cool, man. This is like an upgrade or a remix kit, how to get more life out of your games and to actually go in and change core game mechanics by inserting all these other components into your game. Isn't that neat?
Yeah, it is, and it's easy to remix a Kingdom Death Monster game. Have the end boss be the first boss you fight. Duh.
Right. That'll be like some of the old Warhammer games that we used to play, Warhammer Fantasy, where we'd set up everything. We'd take like 45 minutes to set up all the troops and all the armies and everything and all our dice and all our tokens and all the terrain. And then in 10 minutes, somebody miscasts a spell and the game's over. That's exactly what that would be like by putting Goat Smoke Knight or the Drek or whatever as the first boss, the Watcher. Like, all right, you guys ready with your newbie? You can barely fight a lion, the white lion. He just like looks at you, just disintegrate. All right, thanks. Let's put this away now. All right, sorry. Your thoughts on this remix kit, man?
Other than that, honestly, it's a very good idea, and I think it will allow for like people who still in the quarantine zones or people who want to just make their game spice up, it will allow them to do it, but in a restrictive way to where they don't feel like, oh my god, there's so many details. Oh my god, what do I have to do now? It's
Yep.
more. It will allow them to feel comfort in simplicity. There's not anybody who's making up the rules and who have to like double check, or like there's like attempt to like say, oh, you're making up the rules because you just want to win.
Got it.
So yeah, it allows for all of those things to come out.
Yep. Yeah. So it's a good plug-in idea. It's also for free. So
Yeah.
you know, they're doing really Holly's doing some really cool stuff. All right. So that is Polygon, Polygon.com. Board with your board games. Try the board game remix
And
kit
it's
for
actually
free.
the difference between like Call of Duty and Fortnite.
So-
No, but I mean like those games are still making people pay.
yeah.
Or they have pre-paid purchases. This is a full free game. So I mean there was a bashing of Activision for a day.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we should have like there was that South Park episode whenever they swore there was like a counter. They would like beep it out. They had like a counter. It would go up. We should like have a counter of how many times Call of Duty is like mentioned in an hour show. Ding 1, ding 2.
No.
Three,
It has to be very
4.
annoying like this. Ding!
Okay, yeah, or even like a gunfire. Ooh, that's horrible. All right.
No. Tactical incoming.
Next article, cnet.com. And this is Apple highlights apps to help families manage autism amid the coronavirus. For Autism Acceptance Day, the company is calling attention to the tools that help parents with neurodiverse children. This is another really cool. There's some actually really cool games though. So some are games. So like Proloquio to go. Others are art applications like Procreate, which I just purchased for my wife, and she loves it to death. There's other like utilities, and I mean just apps in general, right?
Yeah.
Like something like Hopster Saturday Club for Kids. The Hopster Saturday Club for Kids is a free app that helps with understanding emotions, whether it's to be a child's own emotion or the emotions of others. Hopster uses mini games to teach children to recognize facial expressions, match feelings to expressions, use emotional vocabulary, understand their own emotions, and feel and show empathy to others. Super cool stuff, man. Yeah. Right? Right on, Apple. Do something good with all that money I'm giving you. All right. Any thoughts on this one? There you go. All right. So, that's our 10 articles. So, before we sign out, so normally we would sign out at this point. But, a couple of days ago, I went into my board state email and I apologize. So, this is also an apology. I got a bunch of emails, which I didn't think we would actually have that much emails. We had a lot of emails, and we asked you guys to send us emails, and you have. And I haven't been doing my part and reading the emails, because I just imagined nobody would be sending us emails, but you guys have, so thank you.
I decided to sacrifice my spots for you guys.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. So we rolled some dice and we picked 2, and maybe we'll end up doing a separate segment. Or maybe just tack on more time and answer most of these emails now that we are getting a lot of emails. So I picked 2. All right. So we're gonna highlight. We're gonna answer these 2 emails. So the first email is by InstaFlow. I'm not gonna say what the email address is. I'll just say their signature. And it says, "Dear Board State, who would win in a fight, a board game or a video game?" This is actual email, dude. This is our fan base. Thank you. Welcome, fan base. Yeah, I know, right? Okay. This is a legitimate concern for our viewership, Jack. I don't know why you're laughing over there. Your
Me,
thoughts.
I'm not laughing. No,
You go first. You go first.
Wow,
Answer
wow,
this one
wow.
first.
Give the long one first. Okay.
So who'd win in a fight? I don't even know how to answer this. Like, what video game? Like, are we talking about the genre? Are we talking about?
No, we're going off of all games in general.
Okay.
I honestly think ball games.
Okay, why would board games win?
Because they have access to Warhammer 40k. They have access to...
I see. So we're talking about, like, thematically. Like, if in all the worlds of video games and all the worlds of board games, who would if they were, like, represented by, like armies or something, like if they fought, like all these different titles got together.
Yeah.
Wow. They have everything, right? There's Cthulhu.
They brought in the full Halo. They brought in the Star Wars Legends. Yeah, no, it's just like if it was a 1v1 fight between these two like subgenres, I honestly think that board gaming would win 10 out of 10 because like Warhammer in general, the stuff they do, they build up systems just to make sure one guy's dead.
Okay. All right. I don't know how to answer this question.
I mean, I like the video games do have a Halo, Call of Duty,
Warhammer 2. You know, there's.
Yeah, but they don't have like the full like Cthulhu. They only have a couple.
Got, board games got all those crazy strategic simulation stuff. And Dungeons and Dragons,
Yeah, we're not even going in Dungeons and Dragons. Like the amount of stuff you could do.
Yeah, I think I sided with your thoughts there. I think it would have to be board
games. Unless
ridiculous
video games will only say main characters. If they do that, then they will win.
Yeah.
Because they have their main characters overall.
Yeah.
Like, how much Commissar could do against a Master Chief.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I think we're siding with board gaming on this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
9 out of 10.
Question 2. This is by the executor. Can you? And so we rolled random. Well, sorry. To be fair, the first one I picked, the second one I rolled completely random, and this is where the dice landed. All right. Can you describe the process for creating this podcast? Yes. So I will take the reins on this one, and then you can comment on anything I forget. So what happens is during the week, myself and Jack, we collect whatever articles that come up that stand out to us that supports, the agenda or the ethos of this podcast, and then that goes into a Google Doc. That goes into this long Google Doc, and then towards the tail end of the week, we start plucking out or parsing out the articles that we want to talk about. And then that goes into a separate list of this is what we're going to talk about. And there's 10 of those. Or sometimes Jack will surprise me with some last minute ones. And then from that point, what I do is I go through the articles again, and then I highlight anything that I want to talk about or mention. There's like 10 articles, right? I'm not a news guy, so I do that in like a separate document. So I use Bear, which is a note taking app. So I do that, and then so I try to get that done by Friday, and then Sunday morning, Jack calls in to here via Skype, and we record. I record using Call Recorder, and then so I record it, and then so we record the cast, and then I save it to file, and then once that's done, as soon as time. So Sunday is a analog day for me, so this is the only digital thing that I'll do the whole day. I try not to even look at my watch. I try not to look at my watch or my phone On Sunday, I just do analog gaming at all. I try to do analog gaming the entire day. No video games or nothing else. No TV watching. Just to kind of decompress the week. So that means that Monday evening will be the next day, because I'm normally really slammed on Monday, is I edit the podcast. So I edit the podcast, the audio portion in Audition, which is the Adobe Audition, and then I export that into an MP4 and then combine it into I just use iMovie to slap on the cover image. I used to use Premiere for video stuff, and I may use that again if we wanted to do effects, but I like iMovie's just super quick and simple, so I put that in there, export it. Then I upload that to YouTube with the notes, and then I go into my theorycrafters.com site, and then I build a page for the site, find an image, put in the links, upload that to the server, and then that's it. And then iTunes. Well, we are going to put this back on iTunes, so I just haven't got around to doing it yet. There's tons of stuff to do, but I gotta rebuild the RSS, and then we'll start putting this on the normal podcast channels as well. So yeah, that's the process. Anything else missed?
Well, we also go over like exactly what we want to talk about.
Yep.
It's like, for example, this time we focus more on positive news articles. The last one we try to be more focused around like the coronavirus. Like there's like there's subgenres that we like to tackle on, and we try to stay relevant as much as we can.
Yeah. To what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Right.
We also don't want to shy away from sugarcoating it.
Yep.
Like, we know it's a screw up situation. Like, I'm a senior, I'm not probably gonna walk because of this virus. Like, people should be mad, but at the same token, yeah. So stuff like that, we tend to go on tangents like that.
Yep.
All right. That makes up most of the podcasts in general, like exactly how we go about the podcast.
Okay. Yep. So that's gonna do it. Do you have any closing comments, Jack?
Actually, I have nah. No, but honestly, stay safe, have fun, and if you have any questions or concerns, or even artwork or potential jobs, because you know us, we love to add.
I don't want any more jobs. You can set up the Jack. I'm good. I work almost 24 hours a day. I'm good.
Only to Jack KJ Hobbs.
Yeah. Yeah. Where can they reach us, Jack?
At theboardstate.com. I mean, at theboardstate at Gmail.
There we go. That's it. That's the board state.
At boardstate at gmail.com. And also at the website, the theorycrafters.com. And the US government.gov.
Why are they going to go to the US government? Please don't go to the US government. They're not doing anything right. All right. That's
board state sent you.
We'll probably beep that out, so I apologize for my friend.